fan. We have not had Christine on stage for quite a few years, and she's incredible. And she'll be sitting up here with Scott Roxborough from the Hollywood Reporter, and this is going to be very, very interesting. Please welcome to the stage Scott Roxborough, who will be moderating, and Christine Vachon, please. From Killer Films, thank you. Christine is an Oscar-nominated and Golden Globe-winning producer. Scott is the moderator. He's also the European Bureau Chief at the Hollywood Reporter. He's been reporting on European film and television in the industry for over 2 decades.
What we'll be talking about, which has been in the media a lot, is what happened with Todd Haynes' last film that fell apart because Joaquin Phoenix walked off. Christine's already talked about this in San Sebastian last year, and there's a lot of great reporting by the Hollywood Reporter or other lesser magazines that you can read about. So we're not going to talk about that. It's been discussed over and over again, so we're leaving that to one side. Instead, I would like to start with talking about a less controversial figure than Mr. Phoenix, Donald Trump. Todd mentioned in his press conference yesterday, made some comments about Trump and about sort of the impact of the new government. From your perspective, from the business work you do, are you seeing an impact on having the new government in power, and do you expect to see one soon? Do you expect to see a real impact on your ability to do what you do?
I mean, I think the long and short answer basically is we don't know yet. I think that the industry has obviously been through a great deal of turmoil with strikes, and I think a lot of us thought we'd be a little further along the road to recovery than we seem to be, and probably almost definitely the new government has something to do with that, because I believe there's been a kind of wait and see attitude that's really kind of permeated everything since the strikes ended. I can't really make those predictions. Like, is it going to absolutely have an impact on the kind of stories we tell? I feel like the only thing I can do is look back at my own experience of the 90s, when there was also a president that many of us felt was dangerous to people who were in any way marginalized whatsoever, that lent a sense of urgency to the kinds of stories we told. Movies like Poison, for example, but other films as well, and, other filmmakers like Greg Araki or Rose Troche, just off the top of my head. So perhaps we're looking at that same kind of urgency in these coming years.
Companies, distributors maybe, are perhaps adjusting to see what works and doesn't work under this new regime. I'll speak directly to something like what happened with The Apprentice, with Ali Abbasi's film, that had huge trouble getting a distributor in the US, and I can't think that it didn't have something to do with the content of that film and the threats of lawsuits from the Trump camp and so forth. I'm just wondering if you fear a type of censorship or self-censorship from the business side, from the distributors or the streamers, wanting to shy away from anything that could be seen as being critical of the MAGA ideology.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some element of that, but I also, I couldn't have survived this long without having a real faith in audiences and their desire to see good work and strong work and original work and provocative work. And The Apprentice did end up with 2 Oscar nominations. There's always so many reasons that we filmmakers tell ourselves when a movie doesn't sell or an audience doesn't spark to it. The only thing we don't tell ourselves is maybe people just didn't want to see it, which is sometimes, why something doesn't work. But so I guess I feel like in terms of, look, we could talk a lot about film financing today and what works and what doesn't work and the changes, etc. I have faith, given some of the movies that we are putting together right now, that there still exist financiers who are really, betting with their head and their heart.
Let's talk about that. Get into the weeds of the financing right now. There's a lot of producers I talk to are really worried about the rising cost of producing in the United States, the lack of real soft money, or very many soft money options. The proposals in California seem a bit on hold now because LA is trying to rebuild after the fires. Where do you see, what models do you see that are working, maybe examples that you guys are doing that you think do have that potential to make the kind of movies that you want to make and get them out there?
I mean, it's kind of that French proverb, the more it changes, the more it stays the same. Because I kind of feel like I could be answering this question 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. I feel like we're in a period of great disruption after the strikes. Yes, the cost of production is really skyrocketing, and it is driving a lot of production out of the U.S. And that's, I know that, a lot of people who were hoping for, as I just said, we're hoping for like the business to come back, below the line people, etc., are really finding that, it's not, or at least it's not in the U.S., we finance our films in many ways.